Hello friends, this is Kevin aka Kman1 coming at you with another discussion video. Yeah. Gonna be some more gameplay of Tetris Attack in the background. It's actually the same play session from the last discussion video, for those of you paying close attention. But it's just the next couple levels. Anyways, that's not the point of today's discussion. The real point of today's discussion is something that I'm also this is something really I'm more annoyed about in the community, and this is a nomenclature sort of thing. And the two terms I'm going to be talking about are broken and overpowered. And overpowered, I'm probably just going to say OP for the most part for the remainder of the video, but that's what I mean when I'm saying that. And now broken and OP are both very grossly misused terms. Specifically that they're often used interchangeably, when the fact of the matter is, if you ask me, they mean very different things. And so, as I'm going to say my definitions, I just want to go ahead and make the note that these aren't necessarily like the best or the only definitions, but they are definitely what I default to personally when I am having discussions like this. So, if you do have a different definition, or just a different opinion, or you just think I'm an idiot, go ahead and let me know in the comments below, and I will gladly take all your feedback. So, just to jump into the concept of overpowered. If you ask me, overpowered exists on a spectrum, where it ranges all the way from underpowered, or UP, to overpowered. And right in the middle of the spectrum is quote-unquote balanced. So, if something is overpowered or underpowered, generally what this means is that it can be fixed purely by changing numbers. For most of my examples, I'm going to be dealing with League of Legends, for examples. So, let's say Vayne is really overpowered at one patch. And the way Riot decides to nerf her is to lower her base attack damage. If this is a working solution, then Vayne's real OP thing was she had too high base attack damage, and once it's lowered, she's now in a balanced state. So that's what I mean when it can be fixed purely by number changes, or say if an ability does too much damage, or it costs too little mana for the damage it deals, or anything like that, then they just need to tweak numbers, and from there, the ability or the character is going to be completely fine from a balance perspective. And just as a side note, things can be balanced, but still have above or below 50% win rates, just because of different things in the metagame, or different scenarios, or the people who are playing them just happen to be like experts with the character, rather than, you know, everyone and their mother is playing Jinx right now, but she still has an over 50% win rate. But anyways, just because something is balanced doesn't mean it's going to have an exactly 50% win rate, just because of the way statistics work. Anyways, the other term that we brought up was the concept of broken. Now, something is broken if it can't be fixed just by changing the numbers. A good example of this would be Kassadin, circa a few patches ago, and still kind of now. Kassadin was at a 93% ban rate because he was just so ridiculously powerful, and the reason he was so powerful was because Riftwalk was a broken mechanic. Basically, giving someone a gigantic dash on a fairly short cooldown, it's a little bit strong. But, given all the different changes they made to just try to nerf the damage numbers, they reached the point where it's just like, okay, we need to more fundamentally alter the mechanics of Kassadin's kit in order to make him a balanceable character. And so, with a lot of changes they introduced, they changed the way his ability scalings work, and they completely reworked some of his abilities. And so, by changing things rather than just making them do less damage or making it shorter range, they've altered it to make it balanceable. It's not necessarily balanced once they made these changes, but it can at least be changed by numbers. And so another term that gets thrown around a lot is game breaking. And so this is generally only used in referring to bugs or for strategies in single player games. And so a bug is a game breaking if it just makes the game completely unplayable, whether it does weird stuff with the physics engine or it makes textures render weirdly so that everything's completely unreadable or anything like that. A game-breaking bug is something that causes this sort of thing. And then a game-breaking strategy in a single-player game is just something that negates all future difficulty in the game. So a good example of this would be, I don't know, being able to pick up an early pseudo-legendary Pokemon in a Pokemon game, or the Morpher character class in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Trust me, that is super OP once you get to a certain point in the game. But yeah, technically game breaking is kind of unrelated, but people definitely do throw it around when discussing game balance and the such. But anyways, this was just a nice little short discussion video, so I could ramble a bit about something that annoys me. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next video.